What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video I'm bringing you guys another video in my collection series. And today I'm going to be talking about some palettes that I have pulled out momentarily, probably till about the new year, that I would like to focus on getting some more wear out of. Oh wait, I forgot one. Alrighty, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start off. These are all palettes that I do like, obviously, and I've kept in my collection. Don't want to declutter, but I do want to get some more wear out of it because of one reason or another, I just don't reach for them. So first I want to talk about my Melt Rust Stack. So originally I purchased this just because I heard so much hype about it, and I pulled this out because I wanted to get some more wear out of it. I really hadn't used it much after I originally purchased it, and this is the stack. I'm gonna come in closely so you can see. I did actually hit pan in this shadow right here, and I'm aiming to hit pan in this one. I've also been using this one in my crease pretty regularly, and so okay, all right. I've been using this palette pretty regularly, so if I need a palette to just start off my crease, or I'm working with some shimmers or anything like that, I will reach for this palette. I have been getting wear, and I basically just want to hit pan in one more shadow, and then I will put this back into my collection. Next, I have the ABH Modern Renaissance. I don't reach for this palette. This color scheme is just not something for me. Yes, it's beautiful. Yes, I like the formula, but it's just not something that I think is a go-to that I really love to put on my eyes. You guys know I really like cool tone looks, very colorful, bright looks, and this palette doesn't give me either. So I pulled this out. I really want to use this after I finish hitting pan on my Melt Rust Stack as my next everyday. I'm gonna reach into this color palette. So that is that. Next I have my Sugar Pill Pro palette. I reach into this mainly only for these two colors down here. Let me give you guys a good look. This is what my Pro palette looks like. I really only reach it for these two colors. This one is Taco, it's a white. This one is Butter Cupcake, and that's their yellow. This is my favorite yellow that I have found, bright yellow. And so I do reach into this palette a lot, definitely when I want to do more bright looks, because I feel like these shadows really do stay bright on my complexion. But I still do want to get some more wear. Of course I want to hit pan. This was not a cheap palette, so I really would love to hit pan in my two favorite colors in this palette. But if not, you know, I just like getting wear out of shadows. Next palette that I have in this little collection is the Jaclyn Hill palette. This is technically her second palette with Morphe, but her first like original palette. The other one was like no, this is technically her third palette with Morphe. This is her first original shadows that she created palette, and this is what it looks like. I mainly only reach into this for the warm tones, as you can see, and that's gonna be this row over here. I actually really do not like these colorful shadows. They just aren't my cup of tea. But if you guys, like I said, watch my channel or are on my Instagram, you know I don't really reach for a lot of warm tones. I don't do a lot of warm tone looks. Those to me are like when I really just am not inspired that day, I'm gonna reach for something like this, or I'll reach for my Rust Stack. So for me, this is one of those I'm not inspired for look days, but I would love to hit pan in one of these shadows over here, seeing as those are the shadows that I really reach for when I use this palette. Next, I pulled this out pretty recently, and this was only because I was interested in their holiday palette again this year, and I'm like, sis, when was the last time you used the one from last year? So this is the Too Faced Gold, Chocolate Gold palette, and that's a pretty good look at the colors. This, honestly, I realized that this palette is pretty much similar to the one that they released this year, which is the Gingerbread palette. I do like the formulation. I do like the shadows in this color, in this palette, but I don't reach for it. I just don't reach for it. So I decided that if I don't get a decent amount of wear from this palette, I'm not gonna purchase the next one. And thus far, I haven't even touched that one yet, mainly because I've been trying out a lot of palettes, but it's keeping me to like be realistic with myself, you know what I mean? So those are all the more expensive palettes. Lastly, I have just some, oh no, I have one pretty expensive palette, and it is my Viseart Dark Matters palette. So our program was interrupted, but for good things. I just got some points from my mom. So, or Sephora points from my mom, specify. Anyways, so the next palette I have is my Viseart Dark Mattes palette. Now this is a palette that I did not purchase from a retailer. I actually got this through a third-party site, and I really do like this palette, but I still haven't reached into it. I really love this mac and cheese color, and that's the color that a lot of people really do like. So I really just want to get some more wear out of it. And yeah, I just want to get some more wear out of it. I think that this matched with my brights palette and like a darker palette would really give me like a full colorful look. So I really do want to pair these two together, and maybe a third palette that I can't really think of what would work, but I do want to pair those two together. And then lastly, I have two drugstore palettes that I just want to get some more wear out of. At one point I was getting a decent amount of wear out of them, and they're both from Wet n Wild. One is the Petal Pusher palette. Let's see if I can get, oh, there you go. That's it. And this is the more purple toned palette. And then of course everybody knows the Comfort Zone palette, and this is the more green brownish palette. There you go. So these two palettes were once again just like the Modern Renaissance and the Jaclyn Hill. These were palettes that like people told me to buy. I believed them. I do like it, and now that my makeup skills are getting even more better, I can really tell where the shimmers are, where the mattes are. I still think that these are really good beginner palettes, because when I was a beginner I was not noticing the shimmer on my eye personally. Now that I think I've gotten more into the intermediate realm, I'm really noticing when I put shimmers in my crease, when shimmers are everywhere, which does not always bother me, but I just really want to get some wear out of this. I would love to hit pan in one of these palettes too. So really, just to wrap all this up, these are all eyeshadows that I really want to focus in on and get some pan. I do tend to reach for at least one of these palettes when I'm doing a look, even when I'm testing out other palettes. Right now, the main one that I'm always reaching for is this shade from my Melt Rust Stack, and that shade is called Antique. Yep, so that shade is called Antique. But once I hit pan in that one, I'm gonna find another palette from this little bundle and just go in on those palettes too. So I think that this is a really kind of unique collection video. Definitely let me know if you guys want some more collection videos. I am fair game to give it to you guys. But as always, y'all, it has been real. Peace.